Hey there, my name is Alex. I'm the Silver Mont, and I wasn't expecting a CG story trailer for Shadow of the Erdtree, but I will take it. And oh joy to make very strange, and no doubt very wrong guesses as to what on earth is going on here. So let's begin. Micha the Kind spoke of the beginning, the seduction and the betrayal, whilst a figure pulls gold from something. Few things to note here. Is this the seduction of Marika by the Elden beast? If so, is she betraying the beast? Or vice versa? Is she betraying the civilization we'll see soon? Of course we don't know for sure that this is Marika, but the context would imply it is so. The gold bangles are similar to Marika's. The hair isn't braided yet. Marika, if it is she, is walking over skeletons in a very bloody looking place after pulling golden hair-like strands from what could be a corpse. It reminds me a little of the Godskin Apostles, but I think this is older even than her bout with the Glowmide Queen. Then we see maybe Marika standing before an entrance to what appears to be a land of honeyed gold. The gateway constructed from countless corpses in a dark, shadowy land. The gate has a faint resemblance to the entrance of the Erdtree. Is this the Crucible? Is this a gateway from the lands of the Numen to the lands between? The game remarks that Numen, after all, came from another world, but that doesn't necessarily mean, for example, they went from Mars to Earth. It could also suggest they came from, say, a world of shadow, a different plane. Is this Marika leading the Numen to the lands between? A land resplendent with a life, for the Numen were long-lived but seldom born. Was an immense sacrifice needed to open the way? The narrator remarks that it was from this affair that gold arose, and so too was shadow born. So whatever I'm thinking up is probably nonsense, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? What followed was a war unseen. Considering how well documented most of the skirmishes and wars are in Elden Ring, this would suggest the war was waged even before the war against the giants. War that could never be put to song, a purge without grace or honour. We know from other news that some of the enemies in the DLC are from an extremely old civilization, one that predates the Golden Order. We see Messmer seemingly leading the extermination, bathing a ringed, walled city in his flames. Then a shot of the Lion Dancer enemy, giant compared to the soldiers he knocks aside, lunging at Messmer, who brandishes a flame. Is that the Fell Flame? Destined Death? Blood Flame? A new or existing form of fire magic? Messmer's left eye is not visible in this shot, making me think of Melina, of course, but otherwise their designs do not share a beat. His serpentine design, of course, makes me think of Praetor Rykard, who also is rather fond of flames, so whilst there could be a connection there, I'm dubious at the moment. Is the purging of this city in the lands of the Numen? In the lands of the Shadow, leading up to Marika, arriving in the lands between? Or is this a civilization in the lands between? Was Leyndell built atop it? As it's possible the trailer is non-linear, and the purge happens before the first scene with maybe Marika, but who knows? Either way, we finish up there with a shot of Messmer doing his best Vlad the Impaler act, whilst the city above him almost looks as if it is being absorbed by the twisted tree looming above it. Was the eradication of this city fuel for the tree, as Micha fed his with blood? Was this war fought in Marika's name on her behalf? Why leave Messmer in this Shadowland? Is that punishment for his crimes, or reward for his service, or something else entirely? What seeks Micha here? Keep in mind that we know, ostensibly, that Micha is interested in A. creating a new holy tree, B. saving Godwyn the Golden, and C. easing Melania's afflictions. And all three of those could, in theory, share one solution. Is the secret to the creation of a holy tree hidden in Messmer's realm? Is an immense blood sacrifice of an entire civilization needed? I don't know. That would be a very berserk way to do it. Micha would abandon everything, his golden flesh, his blinding strength, as we see various signposts of a sort. Are these left to guide his faithful in his wake? and another mention of Mikla's supposed power. He's been quoted as being the most fearsome of the Empyrean. It's then remarked that he would abandon even his fate. The choice of purple in that shot, of course, made me think of gravity magic and Radahn, who was halting the fates to some extent, and defeating Radahn is, I believe, a requirement to enter the DLC. Perhaps this purple Miquella is his Saint Trina guise. Curious how Marika and Miquella have more than a few parallels. Both have disguised themselves. Look at Marika's mischief. Both have long golden hair, and of course, we've never seen either of their faces, clearly. Of course, Radagon and Marika are quite different to Miquella and Saint Trina. Our final shot of the trailer seems to suggest the narrator is one of Miquella's faithful, stating they're not deterred by his abandonment, that they will follow, and then asking if someone, the Tarnished probably, if they will walk with them. Quite an assortment of characters we see too. Those who seek Miquella and have found a way to the Realm of Shadow. Will one of these characters find us in, say, the Round Table Hold and ask us about Miquella, leading us to inform them of the Cocoon after we defeat Moog? Time will tell. And not too much time either. At any rate, this trailer, as usual, raised more questions than it answered, but it definitely gave us a nice feel of the DLC's theme, and FromSoft's cinematics have been on point in helping set the tone, and of course just to get people hyped up. What did you think of the trailer? Let me know down in the comments.